Hey guys, Doug the Michigan Piper coming to you from the pipe rest, and I am smoking some Carter Hall tonight in my Peterson spigot, compliments of Sam, and it's just such a cool little pipe. But anyway, I kind of out of my routine right now. I'm using my old school tamper I haven't used in a while, and using matches instead of a lighter because I've been in school for the past week in Kalamazoo, Michigan, as I said in my last video. I still got another week to go, but all my pipe stuff that I took out there is in my car still, and I didn't feel like going up and getting it. So I'm breaking out old school stuff. So, probably going to be a little longer video than I normally do. Oh, where I go down that road. Tonight, what I am drinking is some bourbon, Elijah Craig bourbon. I have been trying my hand at bourbons lately, and did not like them at all. My brother-in-law drinks a lot of bourbon. Not a lot, but drinks bourbon, I should put it that way. And I didn't know a whole lot about it, so I've been kind of filling him in on pipe stuff, and he's been filling me in on bourbon stuff, so it's a good match. But no, I picked up some samplers while I was up at school, and the funny part was I picked up a bottle of Maker's Mark, and I really liked it. And then I tried all these other samples, and I got Elijah Craig, and can't remember the other one I had, Woodford Reserve, and just really good, really oaky. And I went back when I got home this weekend to the Maker's Mark and had some of that, and I'm like, well, that tastes like crap now. So it's like going to really good tobacco and then going back to dime store stuff. So still jumping around trying to figure out what I like. I can tell you that there's one called, if you're at all into bourbons, there's one called 1792 I really liked. I think I like the Elijah Craig just a little bit better because I think the 1792 had better flavor, but the Elijah Craig kind of hangs with you a little bit longer, and that's what I like about bourbons is, unlike a beer where I'm swigging it every, couple minutes, I can take a sip off a bourbon and leave it sit there for 5 minutes just because it kind of hangs with me. So having fun looking into that and diving into that a little bit. Not going head over heels or anything, but I've been having over the last week, I've been having a glass or two a night, and just checking that out. So that was part of the reason for the video. The other part of the reason for the video, and forgive me guys, I didn't prepare for this as I should have, but I see a lot of guys have been doing a VR to Chad from Yardism on what they believe, and I gotta say I'm really liking the responses. Now there's a couple of responses I got queued up that I'm going to listen to later. I haven't had a whole lot of time, so I haven't had much time in town this weekend or this week. But the ones I have watched, I've really liked. Charlie Boca de Boynton had a really good one. I don't necessarily agree with everything Charlie says. Mick, Progressive Piper. It's still hard for me to call him that. He used to be Aussie Piper, but again, I don't agree with Mick's views. But what I like about these videos is that we can get on here and listen to each other's views and not have the same view and not hate the person for it. You know what I'm saying? Mick and I have talked a lot about faith, and it's so pleasant, or it's so refreshing to have a a pleasant conversation about that kind of stuff without having to have one side trying to shove their viewpoint down the other side's throat. Sorry guys, my phone wigged out there real quick. But it is nice to have those kind of conversations, or just VRs, where, you know, it's not like, no, you're wrong, and this is the way it is, and you're going to hell, or you're an idiot for believing, or, you know, we don't have that, and I love it. I love it because I don't think that's the way, I'll explain my viewpoint here in a minute, but I don't think that's the way we were designed. So, that's my segue into what I believe. I believe that we are a broken people, and that turns a lot of people off. Now, when I say that, I don't mean I believe that if we were left to our own scruples, we would just be murderous, raping pillagers. I'm not saying that, but we were created for a reason, and when we detour from our purpose, I think that's where things degrade. Sometimes into total depravity, sometimes not, you know, but it's not as good of a situation if we were to live the lives we're designed to live. I will agree with Mick, who said that, and forgive me, Mick, I'm going to paraphrase here, but basically that he thought religion could be good for some people for structure, and you can get some good things out of it, which is the truth. But I can also say I don't consider myself a religious person. I consider myself a faithful person, or a person of faith. And, you know, that can be all over the board. I mean, what does it mean to be a person of faith? Does it mean you believe there's a God? You know, I don't want to say my response to that, because I usually don't come out of the gate trying to insult anybody. But the way I believe is what James 2:19 says. One of my favorite verses. It says, "You believe there's a God." Well, good. So do the demons, and they shudder. Meaning that the demons believe there's a God too. It doesn't mean they're doing what God wants them to do, and that's not said as an insult. That's just, you know, that's scripture, and so I believe that your faith has to be coupled with your deeds, and this is where it gets a little hazy, because if you're just doing things to get into heaven, then that's not right either. And then I'm not going to dive down the rabbit hole of it, guys. The Bible, if you want to read the Bible, you can read the Bible. I'm not going to preach to you guys. But this is about what I believe. So I believe you should go to church. I don't believe you're going to hell because you don't go to church. I am not one to put somebody in hell. That's not my job. I've never been asked to do that. Never will be asked to do that. I'm not here to judge people. I'm here to love people, which is sometimes a struggle. I do my best. Sometimes I fail. But we are a broken people. And what happens when you have broken people that are all trying to do this faith thing together is you're going to have some people that do it wrong. And unfortunately, a lot of people use that as an excuse. It's like, I'm not going to that church because those people are full. That church is full of a bunch of hypocrites. Well, I got news for you. There's a great saying, and I love it, is a hospital is not a museum for saints. A church is not a museum for saints. It's a hospital for sinners. And that's exactly right, because we're all sinners. And some people hear that, and they're like, you know, oh, I'm not a sinner. I live a good life. And most of them that say that are usually, with the exception of they're not a sinner, they're usually right. They probably do live a good life, and that's fine. But the people who say that are also comparing themselves to other people, and we are called as Christians to compare ourselves to Jesus Christ, which is impossible. And the only way we can reach that level is through Him. So, or not even reach that level. I said that wrong, but reach the level that we're supposed to be at is through Him. We're made perfect through Him. Let me put it that way. So, excuse me. My belief is just that we do our best. We treat fellow man as well as we can. We are going to make mistakes, and that's one thing I always told my son when he was growing up, I should say. I'm like, son, you're going to make mistakes. I'm not here to tell you you're perfect. You're going to screw up. You have to be prepared for that because you'll learn from screwing up. And I think this society too often holds people to such a high standard that when they do screw up, they're right there to attack them. And it's like, you screwed up and you did this and you did that. And it's like, well, yeah, because they're human. It's one thing if somebody's habitually doing something, but, if somebody screwed up, they screwed up. And I don't think there's any grace. There's not as much grace anymore as there should be. I was talking about treating people the way you want to be treated. Well, if I screw up, I would appreciate some grace. I would appreciate somebody to give me the opportunity to apologize. I would appreciate the opportunity to be able to maybe make up for it. And so I need to treat other people like that. I need to treat people, in a way that I give them that grace. I don't just jump on them for screwing up, whether it's, doing something to me or somebody else or whatever. So it's just, guys, it's a walk. And sometimes when you're walking, you stumble. It just helps you figure out where your feet are supposed to be the next time. So I really think we could use more grace. And I'll get to one more point that I've been thinking of, and then I'll cut it off, because I know this could be hours long, and I won't go there. But I think that the world, and especially the church, would be in a lot better place if we allowed more time for contemplation. And what I mean by that is that I don't think that being inundated by social media, amongst other things that we're distracted by, is by accident. I think that's purposeful. I think it is designed to keep us from thinking for ourselves. But beyond that, I think it's designed to keep us from contemplation. And what I mean by that is, if I'm on Facebook or YouTube and I'm clicking from video to video to video, I may be thinking about the things that the people are saying in the video, but am I truly contemplating it? Am I truly giving it thought to what I think about it, other than just a fleeting moment? And I think contemplation is huge. I think it's one of the many facets of why we have such a high divorce rate. I think people don't want to think for themselves. They just want to think. Here's a quote for you. I don't think people want to think for themselves. They want to think for themselves. What I mean by that is they don't want to take the time to contemplate and give somebody grace and figure out where things went wrong, so much as they want to just go out and say, I'm right. And men, I'm sorry, we're the worst. I gotta be careful here, because I don't want to say that all men are bad and all men don't contemplate, all men are not thinkers. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that, we're fixers, and if something's broke, we want to get that fixed and move on. And as a rule, generally speaking, men don't sit and contemplate as much as I think that we should. Now, we want to talk about men being put in the wrong light in today's society. And being emasculated in today's society. I'm with you on that, and we can talk for hours on that. But I just think when it comes to contemplation, that is a treasure that we could really dig more into. Guys, I got a whole lot more I can say on this stuff. But there are times when I come across as being judgmental, and please believe me, it's not. So I won't go any further into it unless somebody wants you want to talk, or you want to discuss or debate or whatever. Give me a holler. My email's in my about section. But those are my thoughts, and the video's about what I believe. So that's what I believe, guys, and. I hope that it wasn't too confusing or too drug out, but that's what I believe. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of this Carter Hall and the rest of this bourbon, and I'm going to relax for my last few minutes tonight before I head back off to school tomorrow. So guys, I hope that you are all doing well, and until next time, you take care.